Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled TV podcast here on the Melfuzz Network. I'm Peter, and this is Connor.
Hey guys.
And we review a bunch of TV shows, as the TV podcast part would imply. So this week we reviewed the night of Mr. Robot, Braindead, Killjoys, Outcast, and Preacher. They're all coming up later on in the audio version. Use the timestamps to skip around. If you're on YouTube, just click on the channel page or on the playlist in the corner and then more information box. And that was the wrong corner, that corner. That's hard. I'm going to stop pointing. There you go. Thank you, Connor. You're on that side. It's easier for you. Just click on that box, get the playlist, and you can click on whatever video you want. They're all up on their own. It's also worth mentioning, both on YouTube and on the audio, there was a special Stranger Things Season 1 spoiler episode that went up. It's over an hour long on its own, so it's its own audio episode, and it's obviously its own video on YouTube, so check that out as well if you haven't, or if you've seen the show, because it's full of spoilers, so watch the show first.
You should absolutely watch the show if you haven't.
Because the show's fantastic. So if you want to hear an hour and like 15 minutes of me and Connor praising it and discussing the plot details, check that out. But yeah, so that's everything that's coming up later, and one thing that's just kind of already there for everyone. But before we get to anything, we've got news to cover this week. We have a few sort of random bits that came out, and then we also have a fair bit of HBO news, because HBO had not a conference, they had their TCA panel, I believe.
Yeah, I think Netflix had one too.
Yeah, actually I think you're right, yeah, Netflix did. Admittedly, I didn't mention Netflix because we're only talking about one piece of news from Netflix, whereas I felt the need to mention all the HBO stuff.
But there was other Netflix news that isn't relevant to us, but it all came out of their TCA thing.
It did, there was like 6 things, but most of it was stuff that we would never touch. I mean, some of it wasn't even scripted stuff, some of it was like, there was like a chat show was one of them. Or,
oh really? I missed that.
Was it a chat show or was it reality TV? I can't remember, but there was something that wasn't...
Not the comedian stuff. I thought there was something to do with the comedian specials.
Yeah, there was something like that, yeah. I don't know. It's not in front of me, so I can't tell you.
The problem was, when I know I don't care about it, I don't pay enough attention to retain.
Exactly. Admittedly, there's literally one thing on the HBO list that we'll probably be covering, but I thought it was worth mentioning the other ones since there was... since they're actually scripted shows.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, before we get to that, the other stuff that came up, we got our first look at Superman this week, as in the Superman that's going to be appearing in Supergirl, played by Tyler Hoechlin, I'll say his name.
I haven't seen it written down.
I can see it being Hoechlin.
Hoechlin, yeah.
But it's spelled CH, and since he doesn't look remotely like Scottish or anything, I'm just going to go with it.
See, the thing is, I see it like that, and I think the Scottish pronunciation as well.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, you're around
yeah.
Scotland enough.
That's how I'd think it. So maybe it is that.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks more like an Italian-looking guy, though.
Yeah.
Not that Hoechlin sounds Italian, admittedly, but he doesn't look Scottish or anything like that. So anyway, so we got our first look at him in the suit. They released their official promo pic with him standing next to Supergirl. A little J.J. Abrams had a hand in it because there was lens flares all over the goddamn thing, and it was kind of a shitty photo.
They always are.
They are. I think the Kid Flash ones we got a few weeks ago were okay though. But the first time we ever saw Supergirl, the first time we ever saw Flash, both looked like garbage. And then you saw set photos of them actually standing about in the suit, and they look fine. And
then you see them in motion,
yeah,
and they look even better.
Admittedly, Flashy still needed a few improvements, what we got in Season 2. But Supergirl's outfit looked perfect when she actually seen it in like proper light, and not this stupid like darkened promo photo. Similar case here, Superman. There was a lot of set photos went up a couple of days after this photo went up, and it looks typically much better in light. The material is very similar to Supergirl's, which is good because I think her material works. He's got red boots, he's got a red belt, no trunks, and he does have.
Live with that.
Yeah, he does have the yellow behind his emblem, which is cool. The only thing I honestly would complain about is I don't like how the cape connects to the top of the suit, because it does this thing where it comes over the shoulders and is like bolted into the suit, whereas I would rather just be under the neck like it normally does.
Yeah, it does look a bit bulky.
Because Lois and Clark, believe it or not, had the same problem. They had a cape that sort of went onto the shoulders, and I hated it in that as well. But what was especially annoying about Lois and Clark's cape problem that I hated was that it wasn't there in the pilot. The suit was perfect in the pilot, and then when they went to episode 2, presumably months later because they get picked up for series, they made some modifications to the suit. They made the S much bigger, and I thought it was too big, and they added this shoulder cape nonsense.
I wonder if the shoulder cape is like a nod to that.
Maybe. Still though, if you're going to nod to Lois and Clark, you could have picked almost anything else that would have made me much happier.
To be fair, they have done in the show when you watch it.
Well, yeah, they have, but you know what I mean. Like that's the one thing they could have taken that I'd have been like,
could have gone with that.
It's not a big deal, but
it's not a deal breaker, is it? It's just a bit noticeable.
Yeah. So, don't like the top of the cape, but everything else seems fine on it. So,
and pretty sure he's going to be actually Superman.
That's true. If I have any concerns about his portrayal of Superman, it's that almost every set photo I've seen he's not smiling in. I hope that there's a lot of smiling actually in the episodes.
I'm sure there will be.
It could. I mean, to be fair, like these photos might be taken in the middle of action scenes when he's looking concerned about things. But it just so happens that out of like the 10 set photos I've seen, every single one of them is not smiling.
It's such a bubbly show that I can't imagine him not smiling.
Yeah,
we've seen him use emojis.
That's true. We've seen him use a smiley face.
Yeah, that's
a very
good
good
enough.
Point. Yeah. Although it'd almost be kind of funny, given the type of show, if he did come in and he was like the moody, like Cavill Superman.
It kind of would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be really weird. But yeah, so first look at Superman. So next up, we got an announcement of the coming of Black Mirror season 3 on Netflix, which I originally thought this was 12 episodes, right? And everywhere I looked before this said 12 episodes, because I checked multiple times. And so they announced 6 episodes, and I immediately thought, oh, they're splitting the season in half. But now it turns out it seems that season 3 is just going to be 6 episodes. So I'm not sure if they decide, if it's still technically they just split it up, but they thought, oh, we'll just call the second half season 4, like in a year's time. Like I don't know if they just decided to do that, or maybe they just spent a lot more money on the 6 than they made.
Yeah, maybe they just changed their minds somewhere down the line.
Yeah, because it was definitely 12 at one point. Because I remember the announcement, and I remember specifically going, what, 12? It was 3 the last 2 seasons. It felt like a huge jump. I mean, 6 is still double, but yeah. So we're getting 6 episodes of Black Mirror. It's coming October 21st. All 6 episodes at the same time. A couple of tidbits though I want to mention about the episodes. I've not got the. There was some brief synopses for each episode. I'm not going to go through those because I feel like with Black Mirror you kind of just want to go in knowing nothing, in all honesty, and it's not like we never do plot synopses for episodes of shows. Black Mirror feels that you could do it for that because each one's like a separate movie almost, but nah. But what I did want to mention is that Charlie Booker, who created the show and was a big part of the writing team and stuff on the first 2 series, is writing episodes 1, 2, 4 and 5, so he's doing 4 of them. Episode 3 is co-written by Rashida Jones and Michael Schur. Michael Schur is one of the executive producers on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He did Parks and Rec as well, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Do you know what? That was really promising, because for a second there, I was really worried when you said Rashida Jones.
Okay.
Angie Tribeca.
Did she write that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, that writing credit aside, I do quite like Rashida Jones, so...
Yeah, same. That's the thing.
I'm curious, and I think the only cast member that stuck out to me was for this one, because I think episode 3's got Bryce Dallas Howard in it.
Okay.
Who's obviously a fairly sizable name. And episode 6 is written and directed by Dan Trachtenberg. And if you don't know who that name is, he recently directed 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Ah, okay.
Which honestly felt like an episode of Black Mirror. So,
should fit right in then.
Yeah. And all I know about his episode is... And this is the only one I remember, because I just remember when they said Dan Trachtenberg, they mentioned that his episode focused on something. His episode focuses on video games in some way.
Okay.
So.
No, I'm looking forward to this a lot. I mean, I haven't watched the show in general yet, but, I know enough to be excited.
Yeah,
I like Charlie Booker a lot.
It's worth mentioning that over the course of September, we're actually going to review all of the previous episodes. On YouTube, they'll just go up as individual videos. On the audio, it'll probably end up being either one or maybe a two-part audio thing.
Yeah, maybe one for each season.
Yeah, depending on how long they end up being. So we will be doing stuff for the last seasons because Connor's not seen any of it. I've only seen season 1 so far, so need to watch them anyway. We might as well talk about them, and they're very interesting and worth discussion. So that's coming soon, and of course when season 3 hits, we'll be doing that as well.
We're doing what, one a night, I think, for the YouTube people.
Yeah, I think one a night for YouTube, and then again it'll either be one big audio file for the audio podcast people or split in two, depending on how long they go. Because given that it's on Netflix, and given that some of the episodes before were already like 80 minutes, I can see each review being quite meaty.
Yeah, because it is like talking about a movie, really, when you're at that length and they're not connected to anything else. This is an entire story to talk about, not just one part.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Sci-fi anthology TV is something that we could use more of. Same with horror. And given that Tales from the Crypt is coming back and they're trying other different things.
We got 404, whatever that was called.
Dimension 404.
We're getting the anthologies.
Yeah, they're making a comeback, which is cool. So, yeah, so that's Black Mirror. That's October 21st on the Netflix. Next up, we had the teaser trailer for Sherlock Series 4.
I commend you for saying series.
Which is coming in 2017, aka next year. Vis-a-vis. I'm doing my David Brent bit there, I don't know why. I like to say vis-a-vis and aka a lot.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, so we had a quick look at this. It looks like Sherlock. It looks a bit darker maybe. They're really playing up the whole sort of...
It looks more interesting than season 3. And the Christmas special.
It definitely looks more interesting than the Christmas one. I actually quite like season 3.
I like it, but it was a bit too fun. I don't know. It got a bit more playful.
What a cutting complaint from Connor. Season 3 was too fun.
Well, no, what I mean is series 1 and 2 were more the story driven, whereas
I guess
3 was a bit more. It had a bit more fun with itself, which is fine.
3 was more consistent though, because season 1 and 2, I basically hated the middle episodes in both series.
Yeah, I don't hate the second series one, but they're definitely the weakest of both series. And I will agree 3 is more consistent. But the tone shift, it takes itself less seriously and has a bit more fun with itself, which some shows that's fine with, but I didn't like it quite as much in Sherlock.
I actually did quite a bit.
Don't get me wrong, they're still very good and enjoyable, but just it felt lacking a little bit for me.
Well, we'll see where this one lands. Is that Toby Jones? Is that his name that I recognised in the trailer?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He's looking creepy and evil, so...
Yeah, it's Toby Jones. He's in everything, isn't he?
Yeah.
He pops up all the time.
I mean, he's Hydra, after all, so...
That is true.
Yeah. So yeah, teaser trailer for that, so go check that out if you've not seen it already. Alright, so next up we have a bit of a dump of HBO news that came for their thing, and of course the big thing for us is that Westworld has got a start date. It's going to start on October 2nd. That's October again with Black Mirror, so October's going to be a hefty month. Especially since a lot of shows are coming back in October as well.
Yeah, the return of all the superhero stuff, pretty much.
Yeah,
all the DC stuff, at least.
Yeah, all of CW's superhero slate will return in October. Just after Westworld starts, so... I couldn't find a confirmation about the episode length, but I think it's 10. I think it's 10 episodes.
10 sounds about right.
Yeah. It's more of a gut feeling than anything else, but I think it's 10. And yeah, October 2nd. I have nothing else to tell you. We already know what it's about. We've seen a teaser trailer. It looks great. So
I'm just glad it's finally got a date. This has been coming for literally years now.
Yeah. Well, it got delayed. I think it was meant to be summer, but filming got pushed at the start of the year. So
it does feel like it was announced like 2 years ago, though.
It's been a while, yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. So
no, I am too. Don't get me wrong. It looks very good.
So yeah, it's Westworld on October 2nd. Now they announced another couple of shows here. 3 more shows, in fact. The first one is called Divorce, and it stars Sarah Jessica Parker, who, after more than a decade of marriage with 2 children, has suddenly begun to reassess her life and her strained relationship with her husband, but soon discovers that making a clean break and a fresh start is harder than she thought. This is a half-hour show that is going to be on after Westworld. I think it starts the week after, though. It starts a week later.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I will not give a shit about this show.
I agree with that.
As soon as you got the name and then Sarah Jessica Parker, I was like, nah, this ain't for me.
Divorce sounds so generic, doesn't it?
It does.
Such a bland name. Speaking of bland names, although this one's not as completely off-putting. Insecure is another half-hour show which is going to be, I think, after Divorce. So this is the
stacking those Sunday nights.
Yeah, this is the Sunday night lineup basically for fall on HBO. It's created by Issa Rae and Larry Wilmore. Ray also stars. Sorry, Ray stars as Issa, so she's also in the show. And Yvonne Orji, they star, and she's Molly. God, I apologise for my fumbling over my words here.
I'm not actually sure what you're saying at this point.
Yeah, the names aren't helping. There's a lot of weird names here, and it's really making this harder to read for me. But anyway, so it's about 2 modern-day black women who are going to be portrayed in an uncliched and authentic way. Modern black women on TV are usually portrayed as strong, confident, and flawless, but they're definitely not, and this is the in quotations that's used here, they're not killing it.
Again, I don't think I've really enjoyed a HBO comedy.
Nah, it doesn't really interest me either, but I thought it was supposed to. Yeah, it goes on as well. They're best friends, they must deal with real life flaws, blah blah blah. So
again, it sounds kind of generic.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
given that its whole point is that it's trying to be ungeneric, it still manages to sound very generic.
Well, I think the whole authentic part is going to be in the portrayal. Like, I think the whole point of this is to have 2, like, I guess 20-something, 30-something, black females who you don't typically see portrayed in this way on TV. I think that's the point of it. So I think the actual show in the end might have a really strong audience who want that.
Yeah, but the thing is, if that's the point, what's the show about? Do you know what I mean? That's not, for me personally, that's not enough of a selling point on a show.
Yeah, but you could say that about any comedy ever.
Well, you could, but
literally every comedy has almost no premise beyond the basic setup.
That's true. So,
yeah, you're just being overly harsh, I think.
Yeah, probably. But I feel like I am on all the comedies, unless there's someone I like in them.
Yeah, that's pretty true, actually. Next up, from HBO, they've got a new project from Alan Ball, who you may know is the creator of 6 Feet Under. He also showran True Blood. True Blood, which I hated with a fiery passion, so...
I liked for a while. First 2 seasons, or so, give or take.
Now, it's untitled, but it focuses on a contemporary, multiracial family. You'll love this description of this family, by the way. So, a philosophy professor, his lawyer wife, and their 3 adopted children, 1 from Somalia, 1 from Vietnam, 1 from Colombia, and a 4th and their only biological child.
I swear I was waiting for you to say, and a ginger.
The biological child may be ginger. I don't know. This seemingly perfect progressive family is actually harbouring deep rifts. Then one of the children begins to see that things the others cannot. Is it a mental illness or something else? So it sounds like there's a slight supernatural tinge. Makes
it a little bit more interesting, I guess. But
I don't know. Just one
is this a comedy or a?
No, this will be an hour long.
Okay.
So I love how varied this family is. 1 kid from Somalia, 1 kid from Vietnam, and 1 kid from Colombia. Oh, and the biological kid. I've got a funny feeling the biological kid's going to have some weird issues because he's got 3 siblings who are all adopted from different places. Like, he's going to have some weird superiority complex because he's the true blood. No pun intended.
Probably. But then again, maybe if he's the youngest as well.
I don't know if he's the youngest. Or I don't even know if it's he. It doesn't say, it just says sole biological child.
My assumption was youngest just because they were last in the list, actually. I'll be honest. Usually when you're ordering children, you do oldest to youngest.
I guess, but I feel like here it's just for dramatic effect to point out, oh, there's one biological kid as well.
Well, that's true.
Alright, so that's the unconfirmed Alan Balls. Obviously, there's no date for anything or anything like that for that because it's just an announcement of something coming probably late next year, I would imagine. So, one more thing from HBO. This was kind of rumoured and everyone kind of guessed this and knew it already. But Game of Thrones has been confirmed to be ending with the 8th season, which means 2 more seasons of shorter episode lengths.
Did they confirm 8 will be shorter as well?
I don't think they specifically said that, but I think that's just taken for granted at this point.
No, that's good. It needs to wrap up soon anyway. Like, it's headed towards the end game, and I feel like they could stretch it out longer just because...
Well, it's funny, because the guy making all the announcements did say that he wanted 10, but the showrunners were...
Yeah, so this is... Because HBO, it would have been easy for them to go, let's go for 12. You know, the amount of money it makes them. It is kind of their flagship show.
It is going to new flagship. Well, they've got it for 2 more years, so they've got 2 years to... I mean, Westworld could be the next big thing.
Yeah, they could cultivate that.
Westworld could be a huge hit. And they could have something else next year. So, I mean, like, I don't think they're in... They've had some flubs recently. I know they had that vinyl show that kind of just got cancelled after the 1 season, even though they said they were getting a season 2 at one point.
Yeah.
And they've had a few issues recently. Honestly, I think the biggest competition for Netflix, HBO right now, is Netflix. Because as much as obviously you've got your Showtime and your Stars and your Cinemax and whatever else is making original content, they don't feel like they're really competing with HBO, but Netflix, it feels like they're putting out content for a much better price. HBO is much more expensive for most people than Netflix is.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like I said, it would have just been easy for them to say, let's do some more, keep it safe. So I respect that they've stuck to their guns and ended when it needs to end.
Yeah. Although you have to criticise it a little bit because you feel like, well, you've cut the episodes down. You could have just done one final 7th season of like 12 episodes to wrap it up. Instead, you've prolonged it. It's that same thing with like AMC did with like the final season of Breaking Bad and Mad Men, where they said, oh, we're going to split this into... We're going to up the episode count by like 2 and then split it in half.
I get that, but the episodes, at least for 7, they confirmed are longer. So it's like, even though they're shorter episodes, the running time might still be about the same.
Maybe.
So, and again, thematically, as long as there's a reason in the story for it to break as a season and a thematic point to cut off, I'm okay with it. It is annoying, I think, when they just go, right, let's just slash this in half and do A and B. That's annoying.
Yeah. It feels like they're prolonging it a little bit with that to me, but...
Yeah, but not as much as they could have done.
And last up, just a slight point here, but it's a kind of slightly depressing one. Adrian Palacki has been cast in Seth MacFarlane's 13-episode, hour-long dramedy. It's a space show that's going to be on Fox. Palacki's going to be the female lead, opposite MacFarlane, who's playing the male lead. And... Sorry, I'm really out of it tonight, you know that?
Yeah, I gathered. I was waiting for you to reach your point.
I'm really... Yeah, no, because that's mentioned an all name, and I'm like, who's this other guy? Is he the lead? And he's not. It's still Seth MacFarlane. I was right. I second-guessed myself.
It's Seth MacFarlane doing something. Of course he's the lead in his own stuff.
I second-guessed myself, and it messed me up, and I've looked a right fool now, let's be honest. I'm not a right fool, I'm sitting next to you, and by that, just by comparison, I look alright regardless, but...
Serious question, has he done anything where he's not, like, that is his show? Has he done or film, has he done anything where he's not the lead? Or at least, like, co-lead? Because I can't think of it, I mean...
Oh, and is he in the Cleveland show?
Nah, that's true.
I mean, it's kind of a weird one because it's a spin-off from something he is the lead in.
Yeah.
Like, he plays 3 of the main characters in the other one.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got, like, in terms of his film, like Ted. Yeah. Obviously, he's the title character. I mean, he did that Western, right? Comedy Western.
Yeah, that awful Western.
I refused to watch, but I'm pretty sure he was the lead in that too.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. But anyway, if you don't remember what this is, because we've spoken about this before, but there's no title yet, so it's obviously something that you may not remember very well. It's his first live-action show. It's already been given a straight-to-series order, and it follows a ship called the Orville. It's a not-so-top-of-the-line exploratory ship in Earth's interstellar fleet. Facing cosmic challenges from without and within, this motley crew of space explorers will boldly go where no comedic drama has gone before. You know, I'd be really into this, but McFarlane's name kind of dampens my excitement.
I'm still excited. I don't hate him. I think he's a bit hit or miss.
I don't necessarily hate him, but after A Million Ways to Die in the West, I am not ready to
Right, okay.
trust
So that
anything.
was awful, but I quite like Ted. I don't know about you. I don't know if you watched it.
Didn't see it.
It's not amazing, but it's pretty fun. I quite like Family Guy. I really like American Dad. So, you know, like...
Oh, is he in that? I've never watched that.
Yeah, that's another one of his, I think. Pretty sure.
No, but does he voice the character?
I think so.
Alright. I was just asking, I don't know.
No, I'm questioning myself now. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We've given people so much to correct as on
I know,
this episode. It's quite shocking.
I think it's this doing it on a different day to normal.
I know, we've really messed ourselves up. Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning that this episode should be a bit later than normally because we had to wait an extra day, which was mainly my fault, admittedly. But it seems to have really thrown us off here. We're really out of our groove. So that's the news. We're done the news. My God, I can't fucking speak tonight.
We hit the major points. Sorry, I just called my headphone wire and slung it everywhere. We got Netflix stuff. We got HBO stuff. We got some Sherlock stuff. We're good.
Superman. Yeah, Superman.
And that too.
And yeah, so the bit of bad news about the that casting there was that
We never got to it, did we?
yeah, I've never actually mentioned what was bad about it. It's bad because we were hoping she'd be back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. along with Nick Blood, who plays Hunter. Because they only left that show because they were getting a spin-off, and then ABC decided not to do the spin-off after they filmed the pilot, and now she's been cast in another show, and that's really upsetting.
I mean, the thing is, this is not coming this fall, presumably, because it hasn't got a title.
That's true. It could be a summer show for all I know.
It could be. It's only 13 episodes.
Yeah, there's hope. It's not completely set in stone that this means she can't be on S.H.I.E.L.D.
It pretty means she can't be a regular.
It's worrying, though.
It's not a good sign either. Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's certainly not a good sign, and I just hope that... I mean, it's weird if just Hunter comes back to S.H.I.E.L.D., but you know what? I'll take it. Bring him back.
If you have to have him come back full-time and her guest and just be on undercover missions every so often, I'm okay with that.
I don't know what the reason would be. Maybe they'll just... Oh, she's pregnant and she's got a kid and she has to look after
Just send her off, go, oh, she's doing a mission.
I don't know.
Easy.
Oh well. That's the news this week, guys.
We made it.
Apologies for what, let's be honest, has been a shit show. And yeah, here's this week's reviews. On the audio version, of course, just coming up. Use the timestamps, and on YouTube, just click on the channel page and find the reviews you want. They're all there.
We promised the reviews are better quality than this. We were actually like capable of speech when we did those.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, the reviews are of much higher standard. One point that is worth mentioning for next week, actually, the show will go up just as normal, and all the rest of it. All the reviews should more or less be on time, but there will be a couple missing. And this is where I get to complain at Connor for a little bit, because Connor is moving house, and part of moving house means going several days without internet. In fact, he's going almost a full week.
I'm terrified.
Without any internet, and no internet means no Skype, and no Skype means no Connor. Now, he's worked out a way that he can still do Mr. Robot. Night of will be done because Night of is before the change happens. However, it does mean that later on in the week there will be a replacement. Tim Vergulish, who is guested before and he does the horror movie show with me, he'll be filling in for Connor on both the following Night of, which actually doesn't affect next week's episode, it affects the week after. It's because when our episode goes up and when the shows are on during the week and when Connor's actually missing.
It's because I'm missing Wednesday to Wednesday.
Yeah. And he's also going to fill in for Outcast, which he did before a few weeks ago when Connor was away. Also skiving and being a slacker as the
Star
principal
Wars Celebration.
from Back to the
It's
Future
a very good reason.
would put it. I said skive, but that's a really Scottish way of saying slacking, so I thought...
It's very English as well.
They say skive in England? Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I thought I'll switch to slacking, because people will get that, because they've seen Back to the Future.
You assume.
Well, most people see that growing up, Connor, not all you who wait until their mid-20s.
Early 20s, come on.
Where do you now?
22 now.
Alright, you're still early 20s. Damn it.
Yeah, give me a break.
I'm in my late 20s, that's really depressing.
Fuck you.
Jeez. But yeah, so that affects those. It will affect a couple of the other shows. It does mean that next week, Killjoys and Braindead will be late. Braindead will be a few days late. Killjoys would be so late that we're just going to wait until the following episode and do them as a pair. Because by the time Connor gets back and can do it, it's like a day till the next episode. So we might as well just do them together. So,
Plus, I need to have time to actually catch up on everything.
Yes. So, you know, that's what's happening. So Connor's moving house. It's causing a lot of disruption. And I do want to point out, by the way, that we may have planned for this better if Connor hadn't assured me for the last 2 months that under no circumstance, this was his words, and I didn't even ask him. It's not even like I was, hey Connor, what about when you're moving house? Like, what's going to happen? Like, I never brought it up. Connor assured me multiple times, I will not move into the new house until the internet is prepared.
Do you know what? That was my stance until 2 very major blows to that happened. 1, the internet company fucked me over and I had to go to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, the days off I could get from work were a week earlier than I wanted because people were on holiday the following week.
Well, all I can say is you had your foot in the ground, and then the first little hurdle.
I mean,
you're just laying your back.
2 major hurdles where it's like, oh, okay.
2 little hurdles. 2 little hurdles.
I mean, 1 was a company telling me, we will not get you the internet till a following week of when you wanted it. Not sure that's a little hurdle, but sure.
Little hurdle. Not enough effort.
I should have pressured them into coming sooner, is that what you're saying?
At the very least, you should be chapping on your new neighbour's door and being like, hey, what's your Wi-Fi password? You can change it in a week's time.
That's sad. They're all old people. I don't know if they have Wi-Fi.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Enough said, they should be quiet.
Oh, it's deadly silent there. I mean, I'm going to have to be quiet, if anything.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Other than the occasional plane we might hear going past because you're near the airport.
I am right next to the airport, so you probably will hear planes every so often. I can't help that. It's no worse than when you're with Tim and he has his window open. There's always stuff going past at Tim's.
Yeah, but he's a rowdy Los Angeles person.
Well, yeah, you don't quite have that same excuse where I am.
No, you're a reserved Englishman. You should be quiet. You should be in a tweed jacket, quite frankly.
Should be much more respectful, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. Someone skips you in the queue. You don't start shouting at them. You
challenge them to a duel.
No. You just sort of scoff behind their back. That's all you do.
You don't challenge them. You don't say anything. You silently fume at them.
Yeah. And with current technology, you maybe tweet about it.
Yeah, but you definitely don't confront them. That's very un-British.
You don't confront people in the UK. That's just not a thing. All right, so we've rambled on for a bit of things. This week's reviews. Have at it, folks.